is Fishtown. Fishtown is probably, there's a section of South Philly that's pretty hip and trendy, and then there's like Manayunk, there's some nice little spots, but working class neighborhood wise, Fishtown is probably the hip and trendiest spot. The average home in Fishtown, $490,000. 30 years ago, you could buy a house in this neighborhood for $50,000. No problem. This was a tough area. A lot of local little gangs. If you weren't from the neighborhood, that's a lot of neighborhoods were that way in Philadelphia. If you weren't from that neighborhood, there would be gangs from that neighborhood, and then they would, they would go, oh, listen, there's a guy from Port Richmond in Fishtown, and then they would just beat the shit out of you. Hold on, oh, we got some TV filming locations. There's a few in this neighborhood. A lot of TV shows are filmed in this neighborhood because it's so hip and trendy. I'm going to get hit by this van. This van's going to run that red light. That was a red light. That light was red! I don't really care. So this is Lloyd. Lloyd is a whiskey store. They sell whiskey. A whiskey store? They sell whiskey. But in 2000, I don't know the year. So this was established in 2012. So say 2009, 2010. This place was called the Hot Potato Cafe. And Gordon Ramsay, I think it was the very first episode of Kitchen Nightmare, or the first season of Kitchen Nightmare. It was filmed in that place. And my cousin, Brian, he was the waiter on that episode. And Gordon Ramsay got him upset. Probably the best story of the underdog versus an evil corporation. About, I couldn't even tell you. Let's say 10 years ago. Everything's 10 years ago. It definitely could be older. Could be. This guy lives at this house. He banked at Bank of America across the street. And he got some fees, like some overdraft fees or something. And he didn't like it. So he got this sign and he stapled it to his wall. And if you look across the street here, a lot of crossing the streets. That building across the street, which is now for sale, was the Bank of America. It closed down earlier this year. So this guy and his little one-man protest, I don't know if it really got rid of the Bank of America, but I'm sure I don't know. I'm going to give that guy a little bit of credit. I'm sure people are like, nah, fuck that bank. I hate Bank of America. I also hate Wachovia. All right. We're going to do a little... Going to go to Blockbuster Video. Across the area, there are little video stores. Not exactly a video store, but little boxes like this, where they have DVDs. Like, you can come here, The Mummy, Andy Griffith, Donnie Darko, some VHS tapes, and then I brought some DVDs. Got the Sin City Extra Edition, right? I got The Shield, 2 seasons of The Shield, and a bootleg copy of Michael Clayton, which I think I just broke. And yeah, okay. All right. So this place here is pretty cool. It's a coffee shop, right? You can get coffee, but if you go in the basement, there's also a record store. So you can go and get a cup of coffee, and then like drink your cup of coffee and go look at albums. And that's one of my favorite things to do is record shopping. And even if I don't find a record, it's just a fun thing to do. Look at albums, look at the old art. Sometimes I find stuff that I didn't even know existed. Like I was looking for something. I got it for my dad. I got Ronnie Spector with the E Street Band on vinyl. I never even knew that existed. Okay, so this is a vape place. They sell like vape juice for your vape guns, your vape pens, not guns. And they sell like wraps. So if you want to buy like papers to roll your weed in or whatever. This is the Pinto. This is the oldest guitar shop in the city of Philadelphia. And if you ever saw that movie Hustler with Adam Sandler, he got a guitar. I don't know if he was in the TV show, but he got a guitar from that shop, and he was in that store. It was a real big deal. There's a bookstore across the street. It's called Harriet's. It's a black-owned bookstore, and Will Smith, when he came out with his autobiography, he came to this bookstore, or he gave this bookstore a bunch of like autographed copies of his autobiography for them to sell, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this is Harriet's books. It's pretty cool looking. I mean, actually, it is very cool looking. This is a pretty cool one of those vintage shops. Or Maddish Yahoo! Wednesday, October 26th. That happened a long time ago. I used to work for a deli. I was a deli manager. Oh, that's a Kanye West mask. I was a deli manager. And one of the things, the owner of the deli, he would let people put up signs like for church carnivals and all that stuff. And but as soon as the event was over, he would take it down the day after, you know? And he said you could tell a lot by a business. If they don't pay attention to what's in their front windows, maybe they don't pay attention to what's going on behind the doors where you eat, or behind the doors of the kitchen. But this is a bar, and it's called Barcade. And you go into this bar, and you buy a beer, right? And then you can go around. Inside the bar, they have all these old arcade games from like the 80s and 90s. And it's not exclusive to Philly, but I think that's the only one of those in Philly. There's some bars with some games, but I'm talking 30, 40 games in the back room. And we're going to be going back down Frankfurt Ave. There's so many cool bars. And we're coming up just a few blocks, not even just a block ahead. Hello, friend. There's a concert venue. It's called the Fillmore. It's a newer concert venue. It's probably the best one in the city, sound-wise. The stage is nice. It's small. I've been there a few times. Across the street's the Barbary. That's an old-time bar. Or it's an old bar. This is a Restore. That's a pot store. You go in there. That's where the drug dealers work. Isn't that crazy that there are people still in prison for marijuana offenses, and there are some states where you can just walk around smoking it. Isn't that crazy? So, if you go across the street, that's the Rivers Casino. That's the Rivers Casino. Over there is a beautiful park called Penn Treaty Park. I made a lot of videos in there. Matter of fact, the state of Pennsylvania was founded in that park. You can go down here. This is Delaware Ave. There's it's where all the Penn's Landing, all the Delaware riverfront shit, the Ben Franklin Bridge. Well, pretty much just Penn's Landing. There's some nice bike trails. That's all down here. But we're going into Fishtown. You can see up here, it's going to come out. There's the Eagles are playing, so they have the planes flying around. So we got the concert venue, the Fillmore. And then we got this spot right here, Punchline Comedy Club. I did stand-up comedy here recently. I did an open mic night. It didn't go good. This is a concert venue too called the Brooklyn Bowl. Yeah, so I did comedy on there, and it went fine. It went fine. It's very hard to do stand-up comedy on open mic nights. Because you're performing for a bunch of comedians, and they're not even paying attention. That's a cool mural. They're not even paying attention to your set. Some of them are, but a lot of them are getting ready to do their set. So what the hell do they care? They're just, doing their thing. So it was something I wanted to pursue, stand-up comedy, but I feel I have a bigger audience on YouTube, and I do events occasionally. I host puppet events and other stuff around the city occasionally. So, I'm not exactly a stand-up comic, but I do perform. This is Carvana. It's a car vending machine. I made a video in here. My next-door neighbor, Denise, bought a car from here. You can see what it's like. They give you a big coin, and you put it in the vending machine, and the car comes down from there, and that's it. That's the L. If you watch my videos in Kensington, this is the train that you see where everybody's living under the train right there. It's the Market Frankfurt line. Take it from Frankfurt all the way to Upper Darby. This is the Galdo parcel. This is a vacant lot, and the city just for 20 years, they never did anything with this lot. And the guy that lives on one of these houses would come out, and he would mow the area, and he would take care of the grass, and he built like a tree house and all this stuff for his family. And that garage is new. So there's a rule in the city of Philadelphia. If the city doesn't maintain a place for 20 years, you can claim that property. It's some weird law. And the city was trying to take back this land because real estate, this property's worth, I don't know, $10 million? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe $5 million? So the city took back some of the parcel. And so you see right down the street now, they have houses built on what used to be the property the Galdo parcel. And they also have like dead pets buried in there. There it is. The notorious Galdo parcel. Let's see, 1989. 9909. So they, for 30 years, these guys were taking care of it. And the city started messing with them around 2015, 2017. Oh my God. I am wearing gloves. I have on a jacket, a winter cap, and I can't believe how nothing that woman was wearing. It's freezing. So this is Girard Ave. We're back on where we started the scoop. There's some more bars. There's some bullshit that goes on around here. There's a clinic down the street. People get methadone. And then there's other shit going on. There's also a bus stop right here. But people will sometimes like get off the L at Somerset Street or Allegheny Ave, and they'll get fucked up around here. So even the nice neighborhoods have to put, oh my God, look at this payphone. Holy shit. Huh. Wow, that's crazy. So this was a 7-Eleven. The property just sold recently, and all of this is going to be a condo very, very soon.
Excuse me, you got 14 cents?
Nah, hon, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're welcome. I don't carry change on me. What I usually do is I get my change and I put it in front of my TV, and then one day I'll come home and I'll go in front of my TV and all my goddamn change is missing because I live with thieves. My children. It might even be Mrs. Captain. I just know my change goes. I'm going to blame Mrs. Captain. We're in that relationship where if I have cash in my wallet, she'll just go in my wallet and just take it. And then I'll go out, like I'll go to a record store and I'll go, I'm going to go buy this album. Sounds like a great place. This is a great album to buy. And then I'll realize I have no cash in my wallet. So now we're back on Frankfurt Ave. There's another bar, the L Bar. Down the street, there's a concert venue called Kung Fu Necktie. The city passed a new ordinance with these restaurants that they have to be able to come down in 24 hours notice for like snow plowing. Parking in this neighborhood is a pretty big commodity, and I just don't know how, see, here's another drive-through restaurant. I call these things drive-through restaurants because you could be sitting here eating your dinner or lunch and a car could drive through and kill you.
Where are you?
Yeah, they have like some good pet shops, but a lot of the properties are this new shit getting built. I had a friend who was taking the L, and one of the new properties, not this house, but a house like this, it was a real windy day, and the plastic siding just blew off and hit the train. They had to stop the L. There's a lot of shady. If you're thinking about moving into Fishtown, I would always choose an old brick house before the new properties. There's so many nightmare stories I hear about developers who they'll build shit and they'll let you this is a very cool, they'll build shit, and if the roof leaks, they don't repair it. This is a cool record store called the Philadelphia Record Exchange. Probably my second favorite record shop. My favorite record shop is Long in the Tooth, 21st and Sampson, next to Helium Comedy Club. My old roommate owns that store. But he gets in a lot of good new shit. That place doesn't get in good new shit. They get in good stuff, but not. It doesn't matter. It's just, but their used selection there is fantastic. At the Record Exchange and Mix Record Shop. How you doing? Welcome to Fishtown. It's a nice little park. This is St. Mary's Hospital. It's no longer a hospital. It's it's like an old people's home. And the first brain tumor surgery happened in that hospital. And that hospital was founded by St. John Newman, who is actually buried. Well, he's not buried. They have his dead body underneath an altar. So you can go to church and look at a dead body. But St. John's Newman, he helped give the money to start the hospital here. Him and a bunch of nuns. Yeah, I mean, just take a look at the parking. I met people who actually moved to Philadelphia, and not because of my videos. That's not why they moved to Philadelphia, but they moved to Philadelphia, and they used my videos kind of as like, you know, a guide to where to go. And I think that's really interesting. I don't know, but I don't know if I would live in Fishtown just because of the parking. I got a lot of weird things. Also, yeah, the average house being close to $500,000, I just don't see how you pay that much for a row home. And one of the things people say people move here for is because of the proximity to the L. But as you can see with all the lack of parking, most people drive. I like how that guy, he saw me coming and he just kept climbing down. Ain't that nice? Here's another little community park. This one's locked up. And then there's some cool little shops up here. I love, there's a store up here called Urban Exchange. And it's kind of like a used clothing store. But if you go down in the basement, they have a section of $3 clothing. And you find some good shit in there. I got a pair of Sperrier boat shoes. $100 shoes. I got them for $3. And all they needed was a little spit shine. That's all. No problem. Here's the thing, though. When the hell am I ever going to wear boat shoes? I got them, though. Well, not a kid. I spent a lot of my teenage years in this neighborhood. I dated a girl who lived off of Girard Ave. My best friend in high school lived on Dolphin Street. And but we never hung out in the parks when we lived in this. We hung out in this neighborhood, we always hung out in the abandoned lots because the police, they would patrol the parks. It was funny back in the day. The police would just take your beer. The police would sometimes, if you were drinking, they would get you, beat you up, and then take your beer, right? And I just, it was so unnecessary, the beating up part, but the taking a beer, I kind of get, but yeah, we'd hit you in the stomach with the nightstick. That never happened to me. It just happened to a lot of my friends. Because I tell you why, because they would drink in parks. I would never drink in parks. I would usually drink at house parties or in a lot. I also came up with this technique. Some people call me a genius for this, but what I would do is I would go to Wawa and I would buy a 44-ounce bottle of soda, not a bottle, a cup of soda, and then I would dump out the soda, and then I would put my beer in there, and then you could just walk around the neighborhood drinking beer. Matter of fact, this neighborhood has changed so much. This is Dolphin Street. This is the street. My best friend lived down that street. But we used to hang on this corner, Cedar and Dolphin. Yeah, so we used to hang on this corner here. And we would hang out in this parking lot. Well, this was a parking lot, and now it's all houses. Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't even look like what we used to hang on. But yeah, so if I was going to move to Fishtown, I would move into a house that looks like this, like a 2-story row home. Anything that's 3 stories and looks kind of modern, like I said, I don't know if I trust the developers. But if I did this scoot 30 years ago, none of those boutique shops are open. There are bars on every corner. Matter of fact, some of the bars from back in those days are still here. There are diners. There's a diner here. There's a diner here. There's more diners. One second. There's so many. So, I mean, it's a great place to eat. I think the schools are pretty decent in this neighborhood. I had a friend who lived in this area, and he was one of those guys that, oh, look at this. He was doing research about, sending his kids to a preschool and doing like interviews. Like, he was all into that shit. And he all that work, he wound up finding that the school in this neighborhood, it's fine. Now, some schools in this city are absolute nightmares, but there are some good neighborhood schools. Fishtown's decent. I don't even know what the school would be in Fishtown, to tell you the truth. Come on, you go, I go. But check out these Christmas tree stand. There we go. Happy holidays.
You like this one?
Yeah, it's a good one, right?
It's a good one.
All right. So, man, look at the top of that tree. So it looks like a smaller tree will set you back $55. And, yeah, I don't know. Woo. $55 don't seem too bad for a tree. And those were nice trees. So, all right, if you like this video, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, and while you're at it, hit subscribe. Don't forget to check out my merch. My merch, it's fire. And if you want to help me out, there's a link below in every video to my Patreon. You get bonus videos, postcards, early previews, and oh, so much. Well, no, that's it. There's not anything else. If you want me to say Merry Christmas or wish someone a happy birthday, you can book me on Cameo. I'm very good at roasting people for their fantasy football teams. So if you want me to talk trash to your brother in this fantasy football team, this is all new construction. This was a big warehouse, I think, and now it's nothing. Oh! Here's a little story I like to share whenever I go past this block. One time me and my buddy Mike, my friend who lived on Dolphin Street, we were walking down this street, and on these very steps, I saw two guys with a big piece of construction paper sitting on these steps. And they were getting the construction paper and they were spraying it with Raid. And my buddy Mike asked them, hey, what are you guys doing? And they said, oh, we're going to sell this as acid. So if you're ever thinking about buying acid, I don't know if you have an acid dealer, just know sometimes it's not acid. It's just Raid on construction paper. Well, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I'll sail with you later. Toodles!